Hi, my name is Katherine Prince, and I am a student at Grand Canyon University. And this presentation is called Developing Teachers to Improve Lesson Plans Using Technology. So I'm a sixth grade teacher that teaches ELA. So what I wanted to do is share with you a couple of ways that I use technology in my classroom to improve my teaching and differentiate from my students. So the teacher objectives for this is after this presentation, teachers should be able to use technology to differentiate instructions for students in their classrooms. The mission of Sims Middle School is to foster a school atmosphere and environment that will meet the academic, social, and emotional needs of a diverse school community. Our mission is to find a way to educate all students and prepare them for future successes. So the two big words I want to notice in here is the words diverse and the word all. Diverse school community, all students. For example, I have a student that speaks Spanish, and I have another student who speaks and reads Ukrainian. So I don't speak that. So I'm going to have a really hard time differentiating for them. But I want to show you a couple ways that I have found to do that that I think can really help someone else in their classroom. So first of all, why do we differentiate? As I just said, students come to the classroom with a variety of needs and struggles. And to meet those needs for all students, we have to be able to differentiate. So I'm going to share with you an ELA lesson plan from an excerpt of Hatchet by Gary Paulson. This is the story that my students have just begun this week. And we're going to look at a first read using our new StudySync platform. And then I'm going to show you an Ed puzzle activity to review those literary elements that we're going to be talking about. So how do I use StudySync and Ed puzzle to differentiate? This is something that I can push out to my students. And this is going to give me a lot of great ways to differentiate in a very short amount of planning time for me. So I'm going to go into my first read of Hatchet and I'm going to preview it. So this is what the students would see except for this top part up at the top. So we start with an introduction where the students can watch a very short video to get them interested. And then I'm going to move right into the reading. So here's where the bulk of my differentiation is going to come from. The very first thing that I would notice is that there's an audio button. We call this reading with your ears. One of the things that we have found best helps our students when they're struggling readers, whether it's struggling with the language or just struggling with reading gaps, is being able to hear the words and being able to see what words go with those sounds that they're hearing. Then I can move up here, and in my roster, I've already determined which of my students need what kind of help. So once I know that, I can choose from one of these. So I'm just going to click on the beginning English learner, and that's going to pop up a scaffold over to the side. The students can slide the scaffold out at any time during their reading. And I notice the first thing it's going to give me are the vocabulary words. It's going to give me a definition, and then it's also going to give me some pictures. It's going to give me a text synopsis that is written on a lower Lexile level. So everything that we read in sixth grade has to be on at least sixth grade level, but this is going to be at a much lower level. This is somewhere around a third grade reading level. So it's going to help those students. And then as I continue to move down, I'm going to notice that here are some more words. Now, these may not necessarily be vocabulary words, but they may be words that are difficult for our students if they're English language learners. So I noticed that it has the word in Spanish, it has a definition, and then in Spanish, and again, it's got the picture, which for English language learners is very important. It's also got some speaking frames. Okay, I'm going to move up and I'm going to look at, there is a quiz that you can give to the students, which is very much just read and comprehend. And then I want us to look at the think questions very quickly. Here again is where there's a great scaffold for these students. If I move over to the scaffold, you're going to see here we have some sentence frames. All the student has to do is they type in one or two words. Brian needs to be rescued, and he knows people will search for him. Then they're going to click this button, and it's going to immediately drop that over into the grading bar. So they are able to answer the question fully. Now, once the students have done that, I have several other skills that I can assign to the students based on what we're doing in class, and all of those scaffolds go right along with that. Now, once I've got that done, I like to take them into another program because this is just sort of a more fun program for them. It's much more engaging. And this program is called Ed Puzzle. So Ed Puzzle is going to give them a YouTube video, which most of them love YouTube anyway. So I can type in literary elements, and when I type that in, a bunch of videos are going to come up. So this is one of my favorite ones. This is a Pixar, and it's about volcanoes who fall in love, and it's really cute. But they watch the video, and about partway through it, it's going to stop them. It's going to ask them a question. So as you see over to the side, it's going to say some of them are open-ended questions, some of them are multiple choice. Now, if I have students that I think that might be difficult for them, then I can change that open-ended question and make it into a multiple choice. I just click the edit button and I go into the questions. I find the question I want to change, and then I click the little pencil and change it from an open-ended to a multiple choice. So for those students that need that little bit of extra help, that's a great option. I can also go in and I can add a voiceover. So for students who need that to be read to them, I have that option as well. So these are just a few ways that I use technology in my lesson plans to engage the students, but more importantly, to differentiate for those students. The entire purpose of what we're there for is to reach every student. So I appreciate that everyone was here today. And if you will scan this QR code at the end, you're going to find an evaluation tool. And it will only take you about a minute or so to complete, but it'll help me to know what I did okay, where I may need to do better. And thank you so much for joining me today.